Hey mate, before you enjoy today's episode, I wanted to take a moment to talk to you about the free 14-day transformation that we are currently running inside of the Unbreakable Man team. Now, if you're a man on the Gold Coast who's serious about improving his physical and mental health, building his self-confidence, and you want to become a part of a team of motivated and like-minded men, then this is the best chance that you are going to get. So as part of the 14-day transformation, you're going to get a personalized meal plan and a recipe cookbook to help you get your diet under control. You're going to be training with myself and the Unbreakable Man team for 2 whole weeks, and I'll be there by your side, helping you overcome any of the challenges that you will face along the way. If that sounds good, then get in touch with me by emailing me at mitch@unbreakableman.com.au. You can find all of my contact details on the website, which is just www.unbreakableman.com.au. Or you can message me on social media. Instagram is unbreakableman_challenge, and Facebook is just Unbreakable Man. That sounds good to you? Hit me up. I hope to hear from you soon. Back to the episode. And I think it explains a lot of why so many men end up in genuinely heartbreaking situations. Why so many men end up in divorce. Why so many men end up having heart attacks, or they get made redundant and then they have, nothing to their name financially. Guys that seem to have moments in their life where important things get ripped away from them, or reality really smacks them in the face. That happens to men all the time. And this analogy, for me, explains why that happens. And the analogy is the feather, the brick, and the bus. Hey mate, I'm Coach Mitch, and welcome to the Unbreakable Man podcast. It's my goal to help you achieve excellent results in the area of your health and physical fitness, your career or business, your relationships, and in your own personal passions. This is going to be your one-stop shop if you are the kind of man who wants to achieve his fullest potential in life. And the only way to do that is by becoming unbreakable. Hello, brother, and welcome to this week's episode of the Unbreakable Man podcast, and a happy new year to you, my friend. It is 2024. Now, as it's January 2024, it's probably not a terrible idea to think back to how your 2023 went. What were some of the things that you were able to accomplish over that year? What were some of the things that you wish you had done more of, or some of the things you wish you had worked harder on? What perhaps are some of those goals that you missed out on last year? Now, the reason why I suggest that is because if we want to change things moving forwards, then we first need to look at what has already happened and identify some of the things that we think might be holding us back. Some of the stumbling blocks that we seem to keep running into, some of the things that keep tripping us up, or some of the habits and routines that we might have in our life that don't necessarily reflect well with the things that we would like to see. So if you haven't already taken some time to think about how the last 12 months of your life has gone, then after you watch this episode, I really encourage you to do that. Unless you had a stellar 2023 and you're the kind of person who already sets goals and puts plans in place to make those things become a reality for you in your life. Unless you're that person, then you probably haven't thought about what that last 12 months was really like for you. We're all just living the life day to day and not necessarily looking at it in its entirety, or stepping back and just having a look at even a slightly bigger picture from what we can see in front of us each and every day. So take out the time to do that, because if you don't, you're more than likely going to make exactly the same mistakes again this year. And your life is not going to progress that much again this year. This year is a new opportunity for you and I to make sure that our lives are 12 months better than they were before. Not 12 months older, but 12 months better. Like we've laid down even more foundation for ourselves to stand higher upon. So I'm here with you this year in 2024 to help you do that. Keep listening to the podcast, follow us on social media, and all the stuff that I share with you about what I'm doing and what the Unbreakable Man team is up to, and everything that we're learning along the way from making mistakes as we aim to achieve our goals for 2024, you'll benefit from learning all that stuff. So continue to follow along with the journey if you are serious about making this year of your life a year where you get 12 months better than you were before. Not 12 months older, 12 months better. Now, the topic for this episode, lads, is I just wanted to take a little bit of time to break down an analogy that I use all the time in training and coaching. And this is something that one of my coaches said to me back in 2022. Shout out to James if you're listening to this, man. But it was a really good analogy, and I think it explains a lot of why so many men end up in genuinely heartbreaking situations. Why so many men end up in divorce. Why so many men end up having heart attacks, or they get made redundant and then they have, nothing to their name financially. Guys that seem to have moments in their life where important things get ripped away from them, or reality really smacks them in the face. That happens to men all the time. And this analogy, for me, explains why that happens. And the analogy is the feather, the brick, and the bus. Now, it's my opinion that in life, we are all receiving feedback constantly. Like, the world around us and the experience that we're having is telling us something about the way we are living, the choices that we are making, and the way that we are choosing to move through our lives. Now, the feather, the brick, and the bus refers to the levels at which we receive that feedback. Now, the feather is when life is just nudging us in a different direction. Like, we're making some decisions that perhaps aren't the best decisions in the world. They're not the worst, we're not, our lives aren't imploding today, but, maybe we could be making a better choice. And the feather is a metaphor for that. When we know what we're doing today and we're creating a bit of a habit around, it's not the best thing in the world, but it's also not hurting us right now. The feather is that. It's just life giving you a little nudge saying, hey man, you might want to look at this area of your life. Perhaps we could do a little bit better here. And to give you an example, let's say health-wise, a feather might be something like you go for your annual checkup at the doctor, and the doctor gets you to stand on the scales and do some measurements, take some bloods, do blood pressure, all that sort of stuff. And he says, hey, look, man, you're a little bit overweight. You really should be about 10, 15 kilos lighter than you are. Currently, your blood's all looking fine, and your blood pressure, it's a little bit high, but it's still in that normal range. So, my advice for you would be to make sure that you get on top of your health over the coming months. Like, let's create some healthy routines. That's a feather. A lot of men hear that from the doctor, and most men do not listen to that at all. Most men hear that feedback and go, cool, according to my blood work, I'm okay. My blood pressure's a little bit high, but still in the normal range. That's fine. I don't really care that much about carrying the extra weight. So sweet, awesome. In my books, that means I'm okay. And that's why it's a feather, right? That's why that example is the feather, because nobody moves for the feather. Nobody changes their actions and choices when a feather's just tickling them, trying to nudge them in a different direction. That's the whole point of the feather. It's basically useless. We have these signs and this feedback in our life, but very few men ever actually listen to a feather, because who cares about a feather? Now, the problem is, when we continue to ignore these little nudges from life and the little feather tickles kind of just encouraging us to change course a little bit here, when we ignore those things, we end up getting hit with a brick. And that brick in this same example might be you go back to the doctor maybe a year or two later, and the doctor says, look, man, you need to be on blood pressure medication now because it's dangerously high, and it's going to really affect the health of your heart over the next decade if you don't get on medication right now. Or it could be that, mate, you actually have early signs of type 2 diabetes now, and so you're going to have to be monitoring your blood sugar levels, and we're going to have to really pay quite close attention to this, because that's going to lead to some serious issues in the future if we don't get this sorted as well. You know, for a lot of guys, that's a brick to the face. That's a reality check saying, oh man, oh crap. The unhealthy choices that I've been making consistently day in, day out throughout my life, yeah, it is actually having an effect on me now. Like, for years, I've been drinking soft drink and eating fast food and not exercising and not looking after myself. And okay, it's starting to catch up with me a little bit now. You know, I'm feeling less than average, and my doctor's telling me why that is. It's because, you know, some of these tests are really turning up some negative results right now. And unfortunately, a lot of men hear those things. They receive a few bricks to the face, and even that isn't enough to help a lot of men seriously make a change in their life. Like, genuinely go, wait a second, I'm heading towards a cliff here. I'm walking towards my doom, and I'm having some clear signs that that's the case. But for whatever reason, so many men fail to make the changes they need to make after that. I think some of the reasons why that might be is lack of knowledge, just general poor habits in a lifetime of doing the wrong things. You know, if you drink a lot of beer and you've done that for years and years and years, then breaking that habit is going to be very difficult. It's probably not going to be something that happens overnight. It's going to take some time, and it's going to be hard. There's going to have to be some mental changes that are required in order to make that shift permanent. So I think lack of knowledge, but also a lifetime of bad habits. Not having a great network around them is another reason why I think men receive clear feedback that what they are doing is hurting them in their life and don't change, is because most men don't have a great network around them. Most men are surrounded by other guys that are in the exact same boat, you know, not fit and healthy, not in happy relationships, not working a job that they genuinely find fulfilling. You know, just perhaps not having great mental health or a positive image of themselves. For a lot of people, that is their network. So how are you or I able to improve ourselves if we're surrounded by people who are also doing the wrong things, who aren't encouraging us and supporting these changes within ourselves because they're struggling with the same problems? So a lot of guys don't have a good network. That's a huge one. And I think that most men don't realize how difficult it is to really transform a life. Because if you're struggling in some area of your life right now, you know, your health, relationship, your business career, whatever it might be, your mental health, personal life, if you're struggling in that area of your life, oftentimes that situation is a product of a lifetime of decisions that were leading up to that. You know, whether it's unhealthy food choices or whether it's, you know, not knowing how to communicate properly with a spouse and continuing to miss the mark in those areas over a lifetime. And if you've been doing something wrong for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, starting to do it right is not going to happen the day you make the decision to change. It's going to take weeks, months, maybe even years to turn this ship around if you've been traveling in the wrong direction for some time. And so I don't think most men realize how difficult that is. And this kind of goes back to why it's so important to have a great network, because when things are difficult, you have good people who are examples for you to lean on and help you make the right choices, even though they're difficult to make. So that's a lot of men are being hit by bricks, getting clear feedback that what they are doing is not helping them, and yet they're still struggling to change. Now, the last level in the analogy is the bus. And the bus is the heart attack. The bus is the stroke. The bus is divorce. The bus is having your business implode or being let go from your job, or, being in a serious financial crisis. That's the bus. That's where it's like a huge negative mark in your life, potentially fatal. I've known guys who I've tried my best to encourage them to make a change over the years, and I've known guys who have had fatal heart attacks and left their family without a husband, father, because they weren't able to make the decision to change earlier. I know guys that's happened to. I've witnessed that. And those things don't happen because of what you did on that exact day. You're not getting divorced because of what you did on that day. You're not having a heart attack because of what you ate on that day. You're getting divorced and having a heart attack because of everything that you've done over the last God knows how many years. And it might not even be that you realized you were doing the wrong thing, but it's still those actions that led to the feathers, that led to the bricks that have finally found you at this place where you've been hit by a bus. And life has made a clear message that you've made a mistake, and you've been making a mistake, and you haven't been listening to the feedback. So what I'm hoping that you take from this, firstly, I hope that you have not been hit by a bus. I mean, firstly, a lot of guys don't come back from that, especially if it's things like heart attack, stroke, that sort of things. But some people do. And if you have had a heart attack or something, a really intense medical episode as a result of the way you've been living, your health and your health practices in your life, then for the love of Christ, make a change if you've had a situation like that, because this is it. It's your second chance. You're not going to get one after this. No, I wouldn't want to chance it, right? You have been given a huge gift, man, a second chance after something like that. So what I'm hoping you get from this is to really watch out for those signs in your life. And don't wait for bricks, let alone buses. Don't even wait for bricks. Listen to those feathers. When life is giving you some little nudges to say, hey, look, man, just think about what you're doing here. It's actually not helping you. Like, when you put your pants on and your belt's a bit tighter than it used to be, that's a feather. It's right there for you. Life's just letting you know that, we're not heading in the right direction here, man. If you want to make sure that you're in the best possible condition in your life, you're setting the best example for yourself and your family, then let's start to make a change. You're getting that feedback. We are all getting that sort of feedback every single day. The earlier we listen to that feedback, the better our life is. The earlier we listen to that feedback, we greatly reduce our chance of anything breaking in our life, whether it's our relationship, our health, our career, business, whatever it might be. Listen to that feedback as early as possible. Recognize those feathers. And if you get hit by a brick, change course immediately. Do not wait. That brick is that's the turning point right there. You do not want to get hit by too many more of those, because you know what comes after it. And it is coming. Believe you me, it will happen. So that's it for today, guys. Quick episode. Start of a new year. I hope you're already thinking about your goals. I hope maybe looking back, you can see some feathers and some bricks that you might have got hit with in 2023. Well, now is the time to use that information to help you get clear on exactly what you want and need to do this year to make sure that doesn't happen again, to make sure that you stop heading in that direction, you start heading in a new, more positive, more useful direction for yourself and the people who rely on you in your life. So Yeah, I hope that helps, man. One other thing as well, if you did listen to that episode, you really enjoyed it, you want to set some goals for 2024, but perhaps you've never really set goals before, or you don't know how to do it really well, then I'm hosting a free goal setting workshop for men on the Gold Coast on Sunday, the 21st of January at 6:30 p.m. until 8:30 p.m. at the Pack Pines Community Center. I'll be hiring the place out for the night, and we're all going to get together as a group of like-minded, motivated, and positive men to get clear on exactly what it is that we want out of 2024 and get clear on a plan to accomplish those goals over the next 12 months. So that is a room that you are going to want to be in if you're a Gold Coast man who is serious about making some positive changes in his life over the next 12 months. If that is something that you're interested in, then you can get in touch with me via email, and it's mitch@unbreakableman.com.au, or you can message me through social media. It's Unbreakable Man on Facebook, or you can look for Mitchell Lowe on Facebook and message me through my personal page. That's fine. Or you can go on Instagram and you can message me through the Unbreakable Man page, which is unbreakableman_challenge. Or you could also, again, message me through my personal page on Instagram, which is Mitch J. Lowe. All right, with that said, my friend, I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, comment down below with what you took out of it, and I hope to speak to you again on the next episode. Cheers. Hey, mate, I hope you enjoyed that episode of the Unbreakable Man podcast. If you did, it would be absolutely fantastic if you could leave us a 5-star review, because that's going to help us get our message in front of more men who need to hear it. Now, if you have some feedback for me, I'd love to hear that too. Comment down below. And if you just need some mini doses of Unbreakable Man motivation throughout your week, then you can follow us across all social platforms. On Facebook, it's Unbreakable Man Challenge. On Instagram, it's Unbreakable Man_challenge. And on TikTok and YouTube, it's just Unbreakable Man. Your support would be absolutely invaluable. Now, last but not least, do not forget, men aren't born, they're built.